you poured death into my heart today. Why did the coyote never catch the roadrunner? Did he ever catch the roadrunner though? I feel like he got close a few times. Like if he caught him, that would be the end of it. It's kind of like Tom and Jerry too, right? Which one's Tom? Did you ever play Mousetrap? Tom ever catch Jerry?
He would always escape before the plane could hatch, you know?
Kind of like James Bond movies.
Like Tom and Jerry was James Bond.
I never put that together before. I have this timer over these sharks, and then I'm gonna go. Jerry was basically James Bond. Hello, adventurer. You know, somebody the other day said, oh, I hate Twitter. And I said, you don't hate Twitter. You just hate the way you use Twitter. You see, there was a time when I hated Facebook until I realized, you know what? I don't hate Facebook. I hate the way I use Facebook. The reason I didn't like it is because it just was this flood, my news feed, right? It just was like crazy. Like I had pancakes and complaining about this, and those 3D sonogram things, by the way, freak me out. Everybody like those sonograms, like they're really adorable. They are the creepiest thing. I want to see your baby after it comes out. I don't need to see it before. And it was a noise and it was a mess, and it added no value or thoughtfulness to anything. And then I started saying, well, what do some of these buttons do? And I started to explore. For example, your house. Not everybody that knows you knows your address. You know, but there is some people that they know where you live, they have your address, they could send a Christmas card, but they're not gonna just stop by. You know, but then you have those friends where, hey, you know what? You know where I live, just stop on by, but you know, they're gonna knock on the door. Then you have those friends who they know where the key's hidden. You know, they don't have to ask to open up the fridge, but they're probably not gonna use my bathroom. You see, you don't let anybody you ever met have your address. You see, there's different levels, and it works the same way on Facebook. I think what's crazy is that every friend that you have, you've set the settings the same way. When I show you that we can hack your newsfeed, it's incredible, because when I did it, I was like, I love Facebook. So let's go figure out how to hack the timeline. Punch it, Chewy. Ow. Why would you punch me? So here is my buddy, Mike Patello. Love you, Mike. And so by default, you'll see that everybody, when you have a friend request, is friend. And so let's say that I wanted to dial him down a little bit. So what I could do is I could take friends and just drop that down to acquaintances. And you see how right there, you see that? Right here, that icon, it's going back and forth. I'm just toggling that he is an acquaintance. So that becomes kind of my level 4. But let's say somebody's negative, they're just, you need a little break, whatever that is. I think a lot of people would say, well, I'm just gonna go and unfriend him. Generally, that's not a good idea. I think that is a pretty extreme measure to take. So if I wanted to dial his volume all the way to mute, I just hit this button. So now, that level 5 is I'm just an acquaintance. I don't get any of his posts. So I've essentially muted him. That is what I call social media timeout. Now, of course I don't want to dial my buddy Mike down. I actually want to dial him up. He's a good friend of mine. So I want to close friendships. You'll notice that what happens is get notifications is on by default. So level 2 of close friends, I'm gonna turn that off, because while he's a close friend, I might not want a notification to my phone every single time. But there is some times, well, hey, maybe I do want a notification. So I can turn that on. Now, that get notification would also work with acquaintances, it always works with friends. But when I'm talking about in this example of a 1 through 5, this is the most I can get. He's gonna show up a lot in my feed, but I'm also gonna get push notifications because maybe he has a big announcement coming. For me, it is a lot of times my 13-year-old daughter. I want to get push notifications. Why? Because I wanna be the first boy that likes her photo. Now, what's cool about any particular name, you can go through and say, hey, I can do that right from this hover. Awesome. So You are going to love Facebook now. So here's what you need to do. Don't worry about going through all your friends. Just start making it better over time. Think about it as like an aquarium that's really murky. Right now, that's how you feel. I know that's how I felt, like this really foggy, murky timeline. What you're gonna do is as you're gonna go on that timeline, when you're liking, you're giving high fives, you're hugging people, you're gonna go through and take somebody and you're gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna dial them down. They're fine the way they are. I'm gonna dial them up. Oh, you know what, I'm gonna turn on push notifications there. I'm going to unfollow their feed for a little bit. And guess what will happen? Over time, those people you dialed up will show up more. Those people that dialed down, they'll show up less. So go and dive right in to that timeline because your adventure begins right now.